What's happening? How y'all doing today? I hope you had a wonderful, delightful week. And we are back, folks. We are back for part 2 of our rich conversation with Miss Melsha Key. Melsha Key in the building, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Hopefully you had a chance to listen to last week's podcast. If you haven't, child, go on and get your feel, because we were talking some really great stuff around our unmarried season, that waiting season. And you know what? Even in the waiting, there's so much that you learn that you have to apply once you receive the blessing that you were praying for. And so now this conversation, we're going to shift gears to like after the waiting. And, when I talked with Melsha, it's so much that she has inspired me with. And I've talked about it in previous episodes. I would say that you're Miss Overachiever, high capacity. Like that's just how you operate. And I relate to that because that's how I am as well. But we've talked about the importance of rest and slowing down. And, well, first, let me not get ahead of myself, because I don't know if everybody knows who you are. Girl, I'll be wanting to dive into the conversation. Let's take a moment. Can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, just in case they didn't listen to the last episodes? They didn't get all the goodness. But tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Melsha. I'm a mom. I'm a wife first. I would say I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I am a daughter. I am a sister. I'm an auntie. So those are just some of the roles. But who I am and what I found out about myself through this journey of life is like, I love people. I love building like relationships and growing relationships. And I also like to serve others in a community aspect. So whether that's volunteering at my local church or volunteering at my daughter's school, those are the meaningful things that I say a lot of who I am is anchored on. And then I own my own photography business. And so I really enjoy doing that. And then I also have a 9 to 5. I know that sounds like, well, when you had time to like do your 9 to 5? No, I do my 9 to 5 in my 9 to 5. I just maximize everything else outside of those hours. But I do work for a pretty large retailer, and I do marketing. It's so funny because a lot of the things that I do kind of all intertwine, because I use marketing within my photography business. I have to use creativity in the way I show up when I'm serving sometimes. So the skill sets that I have really complement all the things that I do. And I'm so grateful and honored.
You know what? I'm grateful and honored to know you, because you really do the most. I have always told people, like, you were such an inspiration. I used to style part-time for a different retailer while I was working another retailer. And one of the reasons I did that, I was like, Melsha like maximizes her seasons. Like, why can't I maximize my time? I got the same 24 hours in a day that she does. Because that was inspiring to me. I was like, she is out here owning her own home. Like, you were doing so many of the things. I was like, yeah, like what? I can do this too. But also, what I've learned in this high capacity, high overachiever mindset is that sometimes we don't know how to sit down. And that's a little hard to do. So as I think about all the roles you play relationally, the professional that you are, the entrepreneur that you are, what does rest look like for you? Like, when do you rest?
Wow. When do I rest? So that is still something that I'm working on, because rest has looked differently through different seasons of my life. What rest looks like now is if I could get into bed by 9 p.m.
that's
and wake up like 5, that's a good night of rest. And I will say I average about 6 to 7, but something that y'all should know is I have a gift to just gotta sleep.
Listen, okay, like she's saying that she can go to sleep easily. I've seen it in real time at concerts. That Melsha was slumbering while somebody was up worshiping, and I was like, "Homegirl is asleep in a public."
To be clear, that same day, doing the most, right? I just ran like it was like an obstacle course for one of these. It wasn't like Tough Mudder or anything like that. I think it's like the same company. Anyway, we was out doing obstacle courses in San Francisco. Carrie hit me up like, you want to go to my concert? I was like, yeah, I could do that, because there was no hubby and there was no child. So consulted with myself. Self, you think this is a good idea? But then when I got there, clearly my body was like, no, this is not a good idea. But anyway, sleeping, I've never had a problem falling asleep. So that like really and truly recharging my body physically is rest, because it helps empower the things that I do throughout the day. I will say, and this is so funny, going back to like community and relationship, I also do CrossFit about 3 to 4 times a week. And I know y'all saying like that is not rest, but I will say it is in a sense, not the work itself, but the community of people. Child, we up there talking and laughing, catching up on life, even though we just saw each other the day before. Like, okay, so what happened with that? As we're lifting weights and things like that. And it does kind of recharge me. And like I'm saying, this rest part is all outside of the word of God. Obviously, like spending time with God, that recharges me and it gives me a fresh perspective. So besides that, these are the things. So the sleeping, the CrossFit, it's just sitting myself down sometimes and just not doing anything. That that's practical and that can happen from time to time. It don't be a long time, y'all, because either I'm asleep or we have a child saying, Mom, I need this, or Mom, I'm hungry. So don't last long, but those are the like spontaneous kind of things throughout the day. More planful things will be, because in this season of my life, really true rest, like getting a massage and all that, has to be planned.
Yes, it does.
So I tend to like, I'll go get a massage or I'll go for a walk and things like that, like planning that within my schedule, taking my actual lunch and doing that. So it's very practical. I would say in comparison to other seasons, it meant like vacations and it meant like just doing more elaborate. But I think in this season, rest is more practical and I'm here for it because I feel like I'm rested, I'm recharged, and I have a clear mind because of that.
I love that you brought up a couple different things. That rest wasn't like, I think people think of rest and they think of like laying on the couch or doing nothing. And it's like, no, rest can be doing the things that you enjoy that bring you energy to recharge. Like me being around a bunch of people, that would not give me rest. Like having that moment, great. I'll be on and I'll be bopping around. But when I tell you when I'm done, I call it hitting my wall. When I hit that wall, it's a done deal. You're not getting me out. It is final. And I'm going on and mind my business. And for me, it is like I might work on the podcast. I might write, but that's restful to me.
Yeah.
Even though I'm still being productive.
I hear
Which
you.
Let's talk productivity. Because also I feel like you do like 1,000 things a day, but like how do you define productivity or what does that look like for you?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I struggle with that too sometimes because I'll wake up, I'm like, these are the things that I need to get done. And I might not accomplish that. And that to me is like, I didn't have a productive day. But then sometimes I'm like, girl, you did 3 loads of laundry.
Right.
You done showed up at your daughter's school. You had lunch with somebody to encourage them. So there's like so many different elements that I've done, but I might not have touched the main things that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I've learned that that's okay because the part of it, God, sometimes I want him to shake up my schedule a little bit to give him glory and to do what he needs me to do. Yes. Like that's practical doing laundry so that people can have clean clothes in the house.
Okay.
I mean, that right there, but I had to learn to not be so hard on myself, but also productivity is also scheduled, right? So calendar blocking, I think I was introduced to that by actually someone that you used to manage. So I used to sit next to this person and I remember they're like, oh yeah, I blocked that out. Yeah, when I need to work on something, because he was like, if you don't control your calendar, other people will. And I said, well, hold on a minute. So then I started to schedule, especially the work calendar, I started to schedule my lunch.
Yep.
And no, I cannot. Can we move that meeting because this is over my lunch, right?
Yeah.
Or if I needed to work on something specific, okay, from 10 to 11, I'm focused on that. No, I'm not doing that. I had to schedule time to even read my emails.
Yeah.
From the other side, like my personal calendar, if I needed to get a goal or something done, I would have to plan those moments throughout the day because I'm a person of a certain age. And if I didn't write it down, it's not happening. And I keep reminding myself because sometimes someone's like, so we still on for this date? And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Well, let me look and see if I can make this happen. Oh, could we switch the day? So I put everything in a calendar to help me hit those goals or things that I need to do
every time. Like even
Yeah.
like think about like on your days off or when you're like, oh, I don't have really anything scheduled. I'm gonna do these 3 things. Everything will get done except for those 3 things, like you
It's so
said. And
true.
it's like, oh wait. So I'm right there with you. If it doesn't hit the calendar, boo, it's not
It's not
happening.
happening. That's why I'm so grateful for the friends that God has placed in my life because they know me and they've given me so much grace. But I am really trying to do better. Someone texted me the other day and they were like, oh, you responded right away. And I'm like, don't judge me on how I used to be. Just a new me. I'm trying to like keep track and keep things. But yeah.
Okay, so are you the type then that you have 364 texts that are unread?
It's more than that.
Yeah. See,
Okay.
that would give me anxiety.
So that doesn't. So I think there are 2 types of people. The people that
yes.
just have a lot of unread. It's not that I don't read them. I think there's multiple ways to kind of see the text. So I have an Apple Watch.
Okay.
And sometimes you see it come through on your phone. You just might not respond to it. So technically I don't have that many unread, but there are times where I'm like, oh, I never responded. Or I responded in my head and it never hit.
Now that, yes.
So yeah, so I'm trying to get, but God is working on me. I'm a work in progress. But yes, I have to learn to kind of, respond to things in a quicker fashion or put it down. And just, I really want to be a person. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Absolutely. A woman
And
of your word.
yes. And so I've been delayed in when that comes through, but I want to get better at doing that at a better speed. So yeah.
So okay, now like I'm
Now
thinking about
myself.
in a professional setting, like sometimes when you're working on the team, you do these different assessments and all that type of stuff,
Yes.
and that tell you a little bit more about your personality type or about your coworkers. Now we know our identity is set in God. But I'm going to ask, would you say, like, as you think about like type A or type B, or I think DISC assessment, like how would you describe like how you show up? Because I think also work and entrepreneurship and stuff, it can look different on each end, but.
So I'll be very honest. I worked for CPP and they used to administer, or they do administer the MBTI. Right?
Okay, that's a lot of acronyms.
That is. So it's the Myers-Briggs. Now y'all gonna look up the rest because it's been some years. However, so we were trained on these types of tests. This is how you kind of show up, but this step 2 is about like giving me more information about who I am. There's also the level of you can take those tests based on who you want to be.
Okay, right. How you want to show up at work.
Yes. To be like the real true answer for these tests is to have your family and friends, your spouse take it for you.
Ooh.
But I will say type A, I know that about myself. I'm very like, well, this is the goal and this is and I need more information and this is too ambiguous for me. I will say though, having like throughout life and meeting people and stuff like that, I've had to adjust sometimes so that doesn't come across as like
intense and
intense,
like inflexible.
That's the word. But knowing myself, I need more information a lot of time to help me make decisions. So yes, and I'm very planful. Like I mentioned on the last podcast that I had this plan that I thought like me and God were going to make this happen together. So you can understand, like, I'm very planful, whether it's like the week, the month, the year into the future.
Yes.
So that helps me.
So as I think about that, then like for people, and I'm very planful as well. I always have a goal in mind. I'm thinking I'm working towards this. That can be very disruptive to our faith walk we like to have things like show up in a certain way. So can you give us an example of when you've maybe either had like a waiting season or things didn't go your way, or how you've navigated it when you're very much like, hey, my type A is showing up. I got these plans. I got this whole calendar built out and nothing goes according to plan.
Yeah, that's tough for me.
Mm.
I would say when times like that have happened for me where I've planned and the plan just hasn't gone, it can feel very like, woe is me, right? Like more internal, like, do I need to get a degree? Do I need to like research this? Do I need?
Because you're seeking some type of control and validation elsewhere.
Exactly.
Got it.
Because that's part of a plan is control.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Because you're saying this is the goal and this is what I've outlined, and this outline should bring me the desired outcome because I put thought into it and I've been intentional about it. And so I'm still learning. I can't even say I've learned because situations come up and I'm just like, oh, but I've learned to not internalize it. But, and I think I've learned this from you, to ask more questions, right? Because I think I know, and this is the goal, this is how I'm gonna do it. But I've learned to like, okay, if I missed the mark or it just didn't happen, ask more questions, whether that's to God. God don't have a problem with us asking questions.
He's a big guy, okay?
Yeah. He doesn't, or whoever maybe I'm working with.
Sure.
Okay, define what success looks like.
Yeah.
And in my surprise, a lot of times, that's not what they were even looking for.
That part.
Right?
That part, yeah.
And to get the buy-in, so back to the control, a lot of decisions that we make is not all up to us.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So like the goal might be like assigned to us, but there's other people that are maybe responsible or have some input. So don't do things in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Get input. Well, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
And well, have you done something similar?
Yeah.
Getting that historical context. So I think that truly, when I think about it as like, oh, the plan went wrong, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, and having it be more self, is more being like, okay, the plan didn't go. Now we have to ask the questions.
Right. Like, and also like, don't beat yourself up. It's such a key thing because I think sometimes I do internalize it. And then I shift into control mode because it's like, oh, I don't want to sit in the fact. I don't want to learn from what I did wrong. And it's like, I just immediately want to fix it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are a lot of moms and just women out there in general that's their go-to. Like, oh, I fix it. I just make it right.
Yeah.
I was recently asked, as I was talking with a counselor around some things that have been like challenging to me. And the person asked, well, what can you let go of? John looked at her like, what you mean? I can? And it's like, yes, you can let go of. You can let go of some things. But like, what are some of the things that you're like, you know what? Or some of the revelations you've had, especially being a mom, a wife, an entrepreneur, that you're like, I don't have to own that. I don't have to control that. I can let go of that.
Yeah, so two things comes to mind. As a mom, I would say that I don't have to feel like my daughter, what she does, yes, she is a reflection of our home, but not to take it so personally. My daughter is who she is, and I want her to raise her up the way God wants her. But if she, and I want to say this the right way, I no longer think like she didn't do something, now people gonna think I'm a bad mom.
Oh, yeah. Like the judgment you get concerned about, or the caring what people think.
Yes, that's a huge. I think, especially when it comes to being a parent, you kind of like, okay, this person did this, and this is what happened, because you get a lot of advice unsolicited, but you get a lot of advice, and like, that didn't work for me. Like I did this, and the outcome is totally different. But I had to understand, my child is my child. She is set up. God designed her. He designed her with his purpose and his plans. My role and my husband's role is to just help her be who God intended her to be. Not like, oh, she has to do it this way. Oh, she has to do it this way. Oh, because the other kids did it like that. I want her to feel comfortable and confident in her being. And I had to learn like, hey, it's quite okay.
Mhm.
Baby, if you want to wear mismatched socks, that's your style. And I will
Right.
promote that every day. When she
Yes.
get dressed, I'm like, that's not what I would have picked out, but you like it, I love it.
And
right.
you know,
And encourage her.
I love that because when I see a child out at like, you know, some the store or whatever, and they're wearing tutu with rain boots and a hoodie and green tights, I'm like, first of all, mom, parent,
Yes.
whomever, good for you because you
Yeah.
did not fight that battle unnecessarily. They're happy, they're healthy, and you probably got a better frame of mind.
Yes.
And they also will be looking cute. And
Yes.
sometimes they look a mess with their two shoes on differently.
And that's
So
okay.
what? But I
That's
love that
okay.
you let go for one. It sounds like you let go of people's expectations.
Yes. That's a good, yes. I think you hit the
Nail on the head. Yep.
And then when I think about it from a business perspective, the comparison, because comparison is the thief of joy, right?
Yes.
And I would look around at other photographers and look at their Instagram pages. And some of them are great from a inspiration perspective. But I had to learn like, you are in your own lane and this is what you do. Don't try to be who everyone else is.
That's the word.
I know that there are better photographers than me, right? But can't no one do it like me because I am who I am.
Yeah.
You know, and if you choose to go with someone else, not to take it personal, like, oh, this person didn't choose me.
Yeah.
And I have to say at some time that used to like, why didn't they choose me? Are they mad at me? Do they not like my work? You know, all the things. And then I had to remind myself, there are people that have chosen me. There are people that have chosen me for
Listen,
many
you keep
years.
a job, okay?
Right. So like, don't be so focused on what didn't happen.
Yeah.
Focus on what God has blessed me with and run my own lane.
That right there. So that actually blesses me even talking about it because you're not heavy on social media for your photography business.
I am not.
Like sometimes you jump in there, sometimes you don't. But I feel like you don't go without work. And that I think sometimes, especially even doing things in ministry, doing things creatively, being an author, like sometimes, especially when you're on social media, you think you have to show up a certain way. Yeah. And I feel like Lord has been clear with me, like just be yourself. Like y'all gonna get all of this. But like just being yourself and let him do the rest. Like I have struggled before with like, oh Lord, I need to be marketing this or and that's just not how I do though. You know, because it's hard to talk about yourself. Like
it is.
Like some people don't have the issue. I feel like it's hard to like really promote yourself and talk about your products and stuff. And sometimes I believe like if we just let the Lord do the promoting, we let him do the marketing, we'll be fine. I feel like your business, you get to see that.
And it goes back to who I am, relationship building, because a lot of people are just word of mouth. Like, I saw your business here and like, could you do this or whatever? But I also had to learn too, to not be trying to do everything. I really had to get clear on like, this is what I do and this is what. So
walk me through that process though. How did you, because it is so easy to have your hand in everything and do stuff and, you know, trial and error and all the things. But like, how did you kind of get to a point where you're like, this is my lane. This is where I feel like the Lord's calling me like that. I feel like when you get that clarity, a lot of stuff falls off and you can like focus. But how did you get there?
Yeah. So of course, I would say I dabbled in different photography adventures, whether it be like events or like weddings or birthday parties, what have you, portraits. And so I had to take a step back because those all require kind of like special
what's
creative
editing,
lens,
all of that.
Different like talents and also different furthering like your education in that, right? Because you can be like, for example, you could be a marketer, but there's different types of marketer. There's, you know, creative is under marketing. There can be copywriters under marketing. It can be, there's just so many things underneath that hood of what marketing is. And it's the same thing for photography, but also like, what did I generally have joy doing that didn't feel like a huge lift, that I was excited? Maybe I think I'm always nervous because I'm like, Lord, help me do this right. You know? So I don't think the nerves ever goes away, but what did I leave? And what situation or what shoot did I leave? And I'm thoroughly excited. Like, oh my goodness, that was so good. The kids are good.
A
or whatever.
really good point.
Versus like, oh my goodness, like I don't want to look at that camera for another couple of days. Like that was so stressful. And even like leading up to it, like this and this and that. And so then I kind of like separated that and like this is what I want to focus on now. I'm not saying it's like forever because like anything else, sometimes you're like getting something, you're like, I need a change. I'll go this way. But I had to be like, okay, Lord, this is where I want to focus on now because I feel like saying I do all this stuff is a little bit overwhelming. But if I can just focus on that and be like an expert in this, it's going to help my business and it's also going to bring me joy because this is what I really like to do. And so I found like that has worked for me. And also like keeping God in the center, like, Lord, help me get this right because especially when you work with kids, this kid did not get a nap.
Right.
So we gonna work it out. And I love kids. So like sometimes it's comforting the mother. Like if I'm on a shoot, like it's gonna be all right. The picture's gonna be all right. And like engaging with the child. You know, I have a little prop set sometimes I bring and the kids start to interact and engage with. But that's that level of like, I love that. And now sometimes we get to a point in life and you can look back and be like, I've always loved kids. Even when I did not have a child, I was in children's ministry at our church where I taught children's church. But I also, I don't even know if you knew this, I led like a girls ministry program, not just at my church, but it was like the Northeast District of New Jersey.
No, I did not know that. Y'all, we learning something. We can intel.
We had like, it was like, you get badges and sashes and all, and it was great because I was with a community of people and they really was like, they love the Lord, but the kids loved learning about the Lord. But long story short, when I look back, it was natural to me. So it's natural for me to want to take pictures of families because it's like that relationship. It's like that bond with the kids, but it's also like the family and getting everybody like relaxed and things like that.
I love that because that's also showing that God wastes nothing. Like he took a desire and an interest that you had even before you even probably thought about really picking up the camera. And he's like, look at how that feeds you now. So I would say like for anybody who's out there thinking about like, well, I don't know what the Lord wants me to do. Start looking back because you think about like how he used David, you know, defeating the lion and the bear, and then he had the Goliath, and then he had really a huge giant that we don't call a giant was Saul, and getting through the wilderness, like all of that. It was like it was moments that the Lord was leading you, and I love that because I've seen the same thing with me. It's like, oh, that fourth grade when that teacher told me I was going to be an author, you know, just like sometimes we don't see that the Lord is planting seeds. Because we're too busy, maybe looking at other stuff or just enjoying whatever it might be. And the Lord's thinking, honey, I'm weaving all this together. Like he is our master weaver. He just knows how to do it all. 100%. And all we got to do is sometimes just pay attention. And it's just like so amazing. So as you think about, okay, you have all these roles, you've learned how to rest. You've learned how to take things from a waiting season into your now season. What's next for you? Like what do you have an idea? Are you over here trying not to control and be a planner and go with the flow, which that's funny. But what's next? What do you think about? What's something that you're like, that's on my radar?
Wow, that's a very good question. Of course, I've told you I'm a planner. So I'm looking to see like, Lord, these are the things that I love. Like I love encouraging women, especially about like the things that I've been through in life and encouraging them and inspiring them. And then that's that element of like style and fashion that I also really love. And the funny thing about this is like style and fashion, I would say never came or it was never something that I felt like I was good at. Oh, my closest girlfriends, I would just admire them. You're one of them. I have another girlfriend in New Jersey. And we would just like, let's go out to eat. And I would come in like a t-shirt and jeans. She'd be dressed to the nines. I'm like, where are you going? You know?
Girl, she's like, listen, to eat.
And so as I got older, I started to be like, hey, can style my stuff, but make it unique to me.
Yeah.
And it became like almost effortless
Mm.
in doing so, because once I started to accept like my body, this is my body.
This
Stop
is my
trying
body.
to dress who you want to be 10
I
pounds
know
from
that's
now,
right.
but this is it. And this is what I like. This is what I gravitate to. And I like pairing a lot of things with sneakers. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
And so doing that kind of thing, because I'm doing like a challenge now and I'm having the best time with my little girl doing it. And so that's one element. Of course, there's the photography element.
Mhm.
And then this sounds like not a part of this, but it is a part of this. What I'm learning in doing AI, even like the things that I have to do, I now kind of like chat with it and say, okay, this is like my mental load.
Yeah.
Now put that out and put it in different buckets.
Yeah.
And then I'm able to like visualize, oh yeah, no, this needs my attention. Let's go to that calendar block and block out that time. So it's naturally
making it work for you.
Yes, that is a part of the system to kind of accomplish things that I feel like I'm naturally gifted for, or like passion, or have that passion to do. So yeah, and like just sharing those bits, because it's going so fast. But I feel like if people only knew, there's just little things that you can use it for to help organize your life, or help you like organize your thoughts. So those different buckets are the ways that I'm just like exploring right now. I don't know how God is gonna use that, because there's other things like I enjoy the public speaking. I got an opportunity to do something at work where I said yes. Like, oh, did you speak about this? I said, oh yeah, that's no problem. Going back to asking more questions when you talk about that, because I did not ask the questions like who's all gonna be on the panel.
Yes.
I think they told me the topic, but the topic was something that I resonated with. So I know that was an easy, like, yes, I can talk about that.
Yeah.
But then when I saw that these were leaders in our company that had like a couple of titles of ahead of where I'm at. But then what normalized it for me is like, we are all traveling in our own journey. And I had to say, for some reason, God allowed them to ask me. And it was such a rewarding experience and so rich. So it was like more of that encouraging people. What does that look like? Is that more speaking? Is that more doing things around that? Is that more using photography to tell stories? What's next? I'm gonna let God. I've learned. Let God put this all together. But those are just the different areas that I'm just like having fun, getting experience in them, and just seeing how God kind of works it out. But I'm open to what he does.
I love that. I love that, for one, just like you saying yes to certain things and you're remaining open. Because I think as women, like you said, we get in our plan, or we have this certain vision, or we lack the confidence. Because also what I'm hearing also is that your confidence is jumping up, like shopping your closet, doing your styling and everything. I'm totally here for that, as you know. But yeah, I also hear that like that confidence is building. So therefore, even your confidence in knowing that God's going to do what God does. And I'm going to let him, I always say he's my fog light in the fog, like I'm like, be my light tower, Lord, so I can just know where you want me to go and not paying attention to everything else. Well, I normally end each episode with a journal prompt, and I'm going to actually use one of the journal prompts that I asked you about. Because as we think about being these high achieving women with high capacity, we want to do a lot. But I think the journal prompt this week is, what can I let go of?
Ooh.
What can I let go of and open up capacity for what God wants to do? So that's going to be the journal prompt. I even want you to journal.
Oh, yes. That's a good one.
That's a good one. What can I let go of and open up capacity for God to do what he's going to do? All right, y'all. Until next time. Peace.